Hey, just checking I'm not making double sound. Is it fine? I think it's fine. Hello everybody. Ooh. And welcome to your drawing and painting session for today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ness and I am an artist originally from the UK, currently living in Germany. And I have been running drawing and painting workshops for the last 4 months since we've all been on lockdown over on Facebook in a little private group that's slowly grown over the months. And it's just been so lovely. So I thought that I would bring it to the public world and start showing it on YouTube instead. So everyone is welcome to join. I hope that you find some value in starting your day by doing some creating, some drawing, some painting. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the chat, and you can follow and you can follow my YouTube channel. I've just started posting videos and stuff like that. So I'm all about the creative stuff, all about the starting your day off on a good foot and getting some creativity into your life, no matter how kind of simple or basic or no matter how good or bad you think you are at it, because I'll take you through step by step. So you can just follow me and you'll be surprised by what you come out with. I'm never surprised by what people show me, but I'm always amazed at how creative you guys are. So yeah, I hope that today goes well. And I hope that you enjoy yourselves. And I hope that you have lovely Mondays too, and also had great weekends. I had a nice weekend. We just went for nice walks and ate food, drank coffee, which is very important to me. For those of you that have joined over the last 4 months, you'll know that that is one of the most important things in my morning, as well as the drawing. So cheers to Monday morning. I have my coffee on the way. I have it right here. If you have coffee too, then well done. And you can always put on some music too and just kind of like drown me in, drown me out, because you might get bored of my chat. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. So I'm going to get going with the drawing now. So I'm going to turn you around. I've got this webcam. Usually I do it on my phone, so it feels very weird doing it like this. But hopefully it will all work well and you'll be able to see what's going on and stuff. But let me know if you can't. You know, I'm always here, always watching. So I'm going to spin you around now. Look at that. Smooth transition or what? All right. Oh, and it's flipped around. Okay, so this is confusing because it's flipped around, so it looks different to me. But hopefully I'll be able to direct you with my words as well as my drawing skills. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by drawing a circle on my page. Now this circle can be as big or as small as you like. I actually have this masking tape size, which I think will be quite a good size for me. We're going to draw something inside the circle, so you want it to be big enough that you can draw something inside. So let's draw around this. If you don't have something circular to draw around, it doesn't matter. As always, you can just like wing it, and I'm going to push it a little bit towards the top of my page so I have a bit more space down here. So, oh yeah, just so you know, I'm using a waterproof fine liner. This is a pigment liner from Bosner. It's a German art shop. But you can do this in pencil or in biro or in any kind of pen. And this is watercolor paper. So I'm going to be using watercolors afterwards. So I've got watercolor paper so it can hold the water. But if you don't have any of that, that's all fine. You can literally draw this on a receipt if you want to. We're just about getting going in the morning. So I'm drawing around my masking tape, and it's even not that straight, but that's fine. That helped me a little bit, so that's good. And then I'm going to draw another circle around the edge of this circle. to make a kind of frame. And again, can be freehand. I kind of like it when things are a bit wobbly in all respects. So not perfect, but doesn't matter. I'm going to just neaten that bit up a bit too. We can draw some kind of pattern on this outer ring later, so it really doesn't matter if you want to kind of make it a little bit neater like that. Doesn't matter at all. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is identify kind of the center of the circle, and we're just going to draw a kind of very soft bended line. Guys, I can't speak today. It's Monday. I haven't woken up. So starting from about here and coming up and down. So it's slightly closer to this side of your circle, but it's pretty much in the middle. There's a little bit more space on this side to this side. And it's kind of just coming up and around. Okay. Then here on the shorter side, the bit with the least distance, we're going to draw a line that comes from about here, which is kind of the height of the top bit of this, in line with that. And it just comes down like that. So coming slightly curved out, but only very slightly, but coming down in a kind of diagonal direction like that. Next, we're going to do a little C shape or a backwards C that just comes around here. It's a very gentle backwards C. Well, to me, it looks like an actual C because the screen has flipped. I'm not sure what you guys can see. Let me know if it's not a backwards C or if it is a C. Little sip of coffee, very important. Keep yourself hydrated. Coffee doesn't really hydrate you, does it? It probably dehydrates you, but it still does good things to me. Okay, now we're going to draw a little line that comes from the base of here, but leave a little gap. And it just is like a little straight line like that. You can see that. Okay, then next we're going to come above this line and we are going to do a kind of curved line that mirrors the original curved line, except this line is jaggedy, very jagged. Okay, can you tell what it is yet? Can you tell? Because now we're going to draw a circle that's attached to this. Be looking in any direction. So I'm going to do it looking straight. So right in the middle. This, my friends, is in fact an eye. So we have our eye, we have our little pupil. Looks a little bit menacing, doesn't it? But it's because this person is concentrating. And I'll explain why. So we're going to come back to this eye and we're going to add more detail later, but for now we've just placed it and it may look massive and that's fine. I wanted a big eye. Okay, so you can't complain about that. So now starts from about here and comes diagonally down like that. So in between the eyebrow and the eye, a simple line that comes diagonally down nearly to the end, but not quite. So this is the end. Then I'm going to draw a blob shape that comes up and down around like that. Actually, a bit like a finger. And I'm going to draw another line that's parallel to this line, but at the top has a slight slope to create a little point, like that. Okay, then I'm going to draw another one underneath it that does the same thing, but it's hidden underneath that first line, like that. And then behind all of that, I'm going to do another blob that comes around and off the page, like that. Now I'm going to imagine these are tweezers. These are tweezers. So I'm just going to add a little bit of detail on the end there. This is the little metal bit, and this bit can be whatever color or design you like. Then this is the your finger, and this is your thumb, but the underside of your thumb. So all we're going to add is a nail here, which puts this into context a little bit. So it can be as big or as little as you like. Little nail like that, and maybe like a crease for the thumb underneath like that, and maybe a few little creases. Depending on how much finger is showing, you can add more or less detail than that. Alrighty. Now we can draw the rest of the face shape. So this can be you, this can be a friend, this can be a made-up person, whatever floats your boat. Can also be whatever gender you want it to be. So I'm going to turn this into a woman, and I'm going to have the hairline coming from about here. So this is easier for me to draw someone with long hair, because then I don't have to work as hard doing the actual face shape. So this is just hair. I haven't defined the face shape at all. I could add maybe like a little line here to suggest a cheekbone. But other than that, I've been let off scot-free. But what I am going to do is add a little ear here, an ear here, like a little elfy ear, and then have the hair coming either side of that ear. It's just wavy hair that's going to kind of fill the shape, the circle. You can play around with this, adding, you know, your own spin. You could have some earrings or something, I don't know, whatever you like. Maybe you've got some really unique ear tattoo that you want to add. I'm going to add a few kind of tufty baby hairs at the top. Gotta love them. Could even have a fringe if you wanted. They do hide a multiple of sins. I don't know. Depends also how big your circle is and how big your eye is. So you might have a bit more space up here that you could draw the top of the head. I feel like I've made that a little bit messy, but that's fine. Okay. Now, also, you may find down here that you want to add the bottom bit of the jaw, maybe just coming out like that. Just adds a little more kind of detail. And you can also add the bit aside of the mouth if you want to suggest the little mouth there. But it's all your own kind of preference now. You could also add like a furrowed kind of brow, maybe some lines, maybe a bit of a forehead brow. And then I'm going to go in and add a bit more detail on the eye. So I'm just going to add kind of little eyelashes coming to that side. And on the bottom, I'm not going to draw a solid line because that can look quite blunt, I think, and make it look less realistic, because this is super realistic. I don't know if you know. But I find a little tip is to just draw like a few kind of dots on the underside, maybe like a really loose line just on that part. And again, just collecting it up there and drawing a little corner bit of the eye there. And that creates a much softer eye shape, eye illustration. You can go in as well and add maybe like the top lid of the eye, or a suggestion of the eyelid. And you can also add kind of marks around the eye like that to just give it a bit more of a human quality. And add maybe, now these frown lines really do add character to your character. So if you did a really hard frown line there, it would look quite, it would be a certain style. So you may or may not want to add that frown line. I just like to add little kind of niggly bits that make the person a bit more human. So I'm going to add another little bridge of nose there because it's quite far over. You may want to do the same. You could also draw a little line down the center. I don't know, this could be like a highlight line. You can also do this with paint. But we just experiment here. We just try things. Maybe add a little bit more dark here, a bit slightly darker. You can change the shape of the eye. And then in the iris, you can add the lines. So lines coming from the center of the eye, from the pupil, all the way around, just like a star. Let's show you that. And also coming from the outside in. But you want to leave a little section of it with just a white bit to get that glimmer. So it's really awkward drawing it whilst holding it like that. So leaving a little section white, but you can make that as dark or as light as you like, depending on the eye color you are going to paint it or draw it. Okay, now we have this space here. So to be honest, not really planned. So as always, but what I'm going to do is to just draw the back of the head. Now this is not going to be like accurate how it would actually look, but I don't mind because I'm doing my own style version of it. So I'm just going to do the back of the hair, the back of the head like that. Can be just hair because we haven't got a day. We're just here to create something, and then maybe draw like the kind of hand or wrist coming out there like that. So this bit would be covered by the hair, if that makes sense. So this is just the hand, and I'm not going to go into any detail because I don't want this to be the focus of the drawing. I want this to be the focus. And the last thing I'm going to do is to just draw the stand for this little mirror. Oh yeah, because in case you hadn't noticed, it's a mirror. Again, the wobbly style does not bother me, just keeping it real. Balancing it on her bathroom like side. So now you can just draw your background in. I'm just going to do a really simple suggestion of like a wall. I'm actually thinking about my own bathroom, thinking where this situation happens, and it's on like a little indent. So this is like a little shelf, and there's a wall here on the side, and then a wall in the back there. And you could add other things. You could even add, if you wanted to be gross, like a bit of tissue here with lots of eyebrow hairs on it. Because it, like, for those of us who pluck our eyebrows, it's quite a satisfying moment, isn't it? Quite satisfying. Alrighty, and that is the drawing bit done, I think. I might add, just to add to the design, kind of lines here, and also to disguise my little mistake earlier, because whenever you make a mistake, you can always disguise it. I think like that's one of the most valuable things I've kind of learnt to accept is mistakes, because they actually teach you quite a lot when drawing. And that is why I draw just with a pen usually, unless I'm doing like a really tricky commission piece that I have to get right. But if I'm just playing around like this, I find that drawing with a pen is more rewarding for me, because then you are faced constantly with little mistakes or little things that you have to deal with. And therefore you learn and you have to commit to it. But that's just me. I know some people love using pencil or other materials, and that's just personal preference, isn't it? Okay, so these aren't all hairs. Don't be disgusted. These are, this is just a design, but these are hairs. All right, and then I guess we could do some tiles in the background to suggest the bathroom feels, because this is in the bathroom for me, but you could also just do an abstracty background, bit of grouting there, going off in this direction. Lines are a powerful tool to give you a little bit of perspective in your drawings. So these are going off in that direction, and then this wall actually comes this way. So I'm going to do lines coming. What am I doing? Yeah, is that right? Oh no, it's not. Lines coming down here. That's right, like that. To suggest that's a bit of a corner. Happy with that? I think I'm happy with that for now. And I'm going to start and do a little bit of painting, because we try and keep these sessions to about half an hour for anyone who's new here. So I'll quickly get some paint in. So I've got 2 pots of water here, because I'm a very lazy painter and I like to use clean water. Oh yeah, actually a bit more paint. So I keep 2 pots so that I can wash off my paint in one and apply my paint with another. Although I'm basing this on my sister, sorry George. So I'm going to use a little bit of yellow ochre. I'll just bring this down. A little bit of yellow ochre and a little bit of Windsor red. That is my skin tone that I'm using today. But of course, whatever skin tone you want to use, go for it. It's yours to do your own thing on. And I'll just paint very quickly the face. And now, of course, you could do this really detailed and get all the different shading parts and, you know, paint a portrait. But that's not what I'm here for today. But by all means, if you have time and then want, then do that. I'm just going to do a really basic spread of this colour. Just being careful around the eye and bringing it down and around. You could lift out colour if you wanted to add highlights, but I'm just keeping it really simple, trying not to get it blotchy. So while it's still wet, moving the colour around, lifting my brush off at the base down there, and then just lifting off the colour onto my paper towel. Can't forget about the little ear and the little fingers though, so mixing up a tiny bit more of that colour. And bringing it here. And onto the ear. Not worrying too much about it going off into the hair, keeping within the lines, because I'll paint the hair probably a darker colour, like my sister has. And then this is a bit darker, but it's fine, because I'm going to paint this bit. This is her arm. And I can go in and lift some of the colour from that bit. Use it like a palette, so I'm not wasting any paint. Just got to move quite quickly so it doesn't dry. but that's quite a technique that I use all the time, is I put too much paint somewhere and I then we refer back to that instead of referring back to the palette to pick up the paint. And then it gives it a lighter color, because watercolor tends to dry a slightly lighter color than when it's first applied. So that's also good to know. And that's why you have to layer it with lots of color if you want a really vivid color. Okay, so now we have, I'm going to let this dry for a sec, so I won't do the hair or the direct frame. I'm going to do the background, which will be a slightly blue background. Like, let's keep it tradish. Maybe put a bit of green in there too, because it's blue for a bathroom. Nice blue tiles. That's quite a beautiful color, actually. This is a combination of ultramarine blue and I think viridian green. I don't know, I've got a few colors there on my palette that I kind of just splodged together. For those of you who are using watercolor and you're not sure how to use it, I would recommend you just painting along with me right now and just kind of testing the amount of water you're using and the amount of paint you're using and having a bit of an experiment. And then, I mean, there are so many tutorials on YouTube for how to use watercolor, but I will also be loading a video onto YouTube about how I use watercolor for those of you that are interested. So if you want to have a look, you can go onto my YouTube page, which is NessDoes, one word. Like, you can see that somewhere here, maybe, I don't know. I'm so technically not clued in, because but my best piece of advice would be to just go for it and start using it, because you learn so much as you use it. You learn so much. And all like watercolor sets are slightly different, I guess, different manufacturers and stuff. And all the different colors are very different too, so they all have their own little personalities. So you have to get to know your colors a bit. I'm being very quick with how I'm applying this because I want to keep this video to around 30 minutes, but you can of course chill a bit and enjoy this process in your own time, of course. Keep it chill. It's a Monday. Just ease yourself in today. You've got the whole week to do your stuff, but it's so nice that you are starting your Monday, or maybe finishing your Monday, or maybe it's a different day if you're watching this a lot later. But it's so nice to do something for yourself. Take a bit of time, even if art or painting isn't necessarily your thing. It's just super cool that you would give yourself a little bit of time to explore something new. So this is the grouting. I'm just going to go in with a bit of grey to just kind of dampen that brightness. And then what I want to do is just drop in a little bit of colour for the hair, although I haven't got my favourite hair colour squeezed out on my palette. So I'm just going to do kind of loose, maybe I'll do a blondie. Oh, little splash, but that's fine. Just adds to it actually. A little bit of blondie going on here, but I'll probably come back in a bit later once this is dry and add darker tones, because my sister doesn't have blonde hair and she'll be like, what, Ness? I haven't got blonde hair. And I don't want to mess with my sister because she is a strong lady. She's a lovely lady. But you don't want to get on the wrong side of her because she's my older sister, so I'm just coming in and doing my base color for now, but I will come in and do a darker tone. That's another beauty of watercolor, is you start with your lighter colors and then you can wait for them to dry and go over with darker colors and create lovely luminosity and depth in your painting. So got the gist there. I'm going to add maybe a slightly bit of pink on her nail like that. So just dropping in a bit of colour and then lifting it back out again. And then I want to have hot pink tweezers because, guys, I actually have hot pink tweezers. And I love them because you can always find them. So that's my own little part of this. Remember, they were really expensive when I bought them. I was a student and I was like, oh gosh, I think they were like £10 or something. And I was like, do I do it? Do I treat myself? Bearing in mind, I use my tweezers quite regularly because I have got the floppiest eyebrows. I don't know if you noticed. So I'm constantly tending to them. And yeah, I thought £10 was a bit much, but I did it and I never looked back. So I would recommend, if you're on the fence about whether or not to spend money and you do enjoy tweezing your eyebrows or using tweezers in general, then I can 100% recommend investing. You can also get them sharpened from the company that I bought them from. I think I just bought them from Boots or something. And I've never got them sharpened and I've had them for years. But they still do the job, so I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. Yeah, so I've picked this lush purple colour because I wanted it to be a little bit funky, going with the blue. I don't actually own this mirror. I wish that I did, though. I just got like a standard gross, came with the flat mirror. We're doing this. But there we go. So then I'm just going to add a tiny bit. I know we're a tiny bit over. It's 10:32, but I just want to add. So I'm just washing off in this pot, and then I'll go into this pot, which is clean. Nice clean mark there. And just add a little bit of a cheek blush. So I've got my pinks here, a little bit of yellow ochre, and this is going to be very blushy. So I'm just going to wash off a bit of that colour. Just drop in a tiny amount of colour like that. Maybe add a little bit onto the nose, a little bit onto the lips there. Not worrying too much about a little bit of red there where it's a bit sore. She's really gone for it with the plucking today. Just kind of spreading that out so I don't get a pool of colour at the edge. I mean, a little bit, it is a little bit much, isn't it, having that like disc of colour, but I'm just going to keep it there because I don't want to work on it forever. And finish with the brown eyes. So just dropping in bits of colour, but making sure to leave white bits. So I've dropped in quite a lot of watery colour there. So I'm just lifting it back out again now. And that is watercolour. You put it in, you lift it out. You put it in, you lift it out. And then just add a tiny bit more colour to this. Like that. For now, but I need to squeeze a bit more paint, but I won't do that on your time, don't worry, my friends. I will let you go now. But I hope that you enjoyed painting your person tweezing their eyebrows. And you know what I'm going to continue to do off air, get it right, is to add lots of little eyebrows underneath here. And I'll just have to wait for it to dry before I do that. And go in and add a little bit more depth to the hair and maybe go back in and add kind of a bit more depth to the background too. But generally, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that that's quite a cute little illustration for our Monday morning. It's actually quite an accurate illustration too for what's happened today in this flat. So hello, nice to see you again. I hope that you enjoyed that. Let's just check that you can see. Yes, you can. I've still got my coffee. If you did enjoy it, please let me know. This is my debut on YouTube Live. So I've been doing all of these workshops in the private safety of a Facebook group. But I will be here again tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get some feedback from my my people that have been following me for the last 4 months. And yeah, hopefully I'll be here tomorrow morning. And if you did like it, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to do this on my phone in the same format as I was doing it before, but you need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in order to stream live through your phone. So I was like, I wonder if I could get 1,000 people to subscribe to me and then I could do it through my phone. And then I was like, do you even know 1,000 people? And I was like, no. So this is how it's going to be for a little while. But I really would appreciate your support and encouragement and feedback too. So if you have anything that you think I could do better, then please let me know, because I'm just growing, just learning and growing. That's all that's happening. Have amazing Mondays. I hope that your Mondays are filled with amazing things, or at least you feel calm and chill and ready to start your week. I'll be here again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Berlin time. But you can watch them anytime, I'm pretty sure. After we've gone live, they save them. So you can just go onto my channel, NessDoes, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I'll stop harassing you now, don't worry. But thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Take care of yourselves. And I'm going to, oh no, I can end the stream like that. I was going to swing you back around so you don't see me awkwardly trying to find the end stream button, but I can see it's clear there. So take care of yourselves and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.